if you remember PE days from physical education lessons, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
If you want to come a little bit closer, you can.
Yeah.
See it well. We're just probably waiting for one more person just to join us, and then if she will join, we'll get going. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll start anyway. Right. We have, so just quickly recap. Forgive me if I get these wrong, but just whichever angle that you're looking for, just quickly recap. So when we oftentimes do these stretches. So we look at sort of flexion. So that's like when we stretch our forearm muscles, and that's the first one right here. Then we have a similar opposite of the flexion is the extension. So when palms go up. Then we have this ulnar, so like a radial and ulnar, these are the bones of the elbow. So we have this sort of almost like waving the arm, the wrist side to side. And and then don't get too fancy about it. And we have supination or supination and then pronation. So all these sort of motions are so pronated and under supinated. Yeah. So what we'll do, just to save some time, I would like us to just simply load those movements, because we can all do this with just without any weight, but see if you can hold the pan. So what we're going to do is just look at the hold is going to be thumb around the nice handle, and see if you can actually keep this away from your body. I mean, if it's too hard, you can bring it closer to you. And all I want us to do, just for about 5 on each motion, look, we're going to go up and then down, while keeping if you can, keeping your elbow straight. So just be careful with it. If you can, hold the handles right at the end, so it gives you a nice amount of space. Keep the same height as your shoulder, and let's go up and down, up, down. Perfect, perfect. We're just gonna do this, repeat this for 5 times. If you've just joined us and you're not sure what you're doing, we're warming up, loading our wrist motions. So just movements and motions. Let's change your hands, please. After you do so, say exactly the same. So well done if you've got a nice and heavy pan. Harder it is, but right now we're not looking for necessarily heavier weight. Let's just introduce the motions. There's one more. Okay, now this one is quite interesting. So you may be thinking, what do I use this? We use this quite a lot. In fact, every time, other than sort of waving people goodbye, which we've done a lot during this year. Look, every time we put our weight on down and we bend our elbow, actually our joints go through this sort of ulnar, like radial and ulnar deviations. Yeah, so just think about this one. So what we're going to do, just hold it this way and just forward, almost you just kicking it back. Look, you can actually support the elbow if you need to, if it's a bit heavy. Quite a small movement. Keep your elbow still, everybody, nice and still, and just move this way. There. Almost chopping it with your wrist. Yeah, like if you played tennis before, just backhand type of slice. Keep going. You might feel a bit of a burn in your elbows with this one. Yeah. 3 more. Keep the shoulders still. And let's really isolate the wrist itself. Yeah. Good. And let's change the hands. Yeah. So nice and straight, just grip over a handle, pronated grip. Yeah. So hand over, like holding a racket or golf club, and then boom. This. If you think this is too easy, you can always put extra weight onto it, but that's that's for later on, perhaps, making dinner. But yeah, keep going for 2, 1, and well done. Now, just final one. Just keep the nice and straight in a vertical position. And what we're going to do is just hold it like underhand, like so, and without dropping your arm down. So if you can, let's see if we can raise it nice and straight. And here's what we're going to do. Look, boom, flat, and up. 10 times, everybody. Let's go. One arm at a time. One. It's always quite good to do the movements single arm at a time because it gets you to think a lot more of the specific joints. If you've ever suffered sort of wrist injury or shoulder injury, you may even have your physiotherapist giving you some type of rehab exercises. These aren't necessarily a rehab exercise, these are great maintaining exercises. So you don't have to necessarily have an injury to do this. Get a good compact grip throughout. Two more. Starting to burn, I think. Okay, let's change the hands. Well done, everybody, getting used to this movement. And just really test. So one thing I like to do, even I notice when I do this, sometimes I've got a greater mobility, flexibility on this side, one arm than the other. And just be aware of those small differences if you can. Yeah, and it's nothing to worry about it right now. If one side is stronger than the other, that's natural. But with some practice, you could actually get you to use those muscle groups. And they're not really necessarily big muscles. These are quite small flexor muscle groups, which are based on lock-on and reflexes, and two more. And nice full grip. And take it out. Great. Any questions? Anybody? Just hang on, Heather. I think you're trying to speak. We can't hear you. Sorry.
How do we get full screen again?
Okay, I've unshared my screen. Can you see me now?
Yeah, but not on a full screen.
Okay, let me do. If you just go on the view, perhaps, or just pin me. Do you know how to pin me?
No. Wait a minute.
If you tap three dots on where I am and just try to pin the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it?
Yeah, in there.
All right. Great. Welcome, everybody. Let's begin. I'm going to mute everybody and we're going to begin today's class. Is that good?
Yeah, fine.
All right. Speak very soon. All right. Everybody take a couple of steps back. Make sure you have nice and open space, safe space to move around. For any reason you struggle to hear me, just if everybody waves together, I'll know what's happening. So, to start to loosen up the wrist, we've already started to sort of activate our hands. Just shake our fingers, almost flicking, like you've just washed your hands and just rinsing, flicking out the fingers. Good. Give us some nice little reflexes, wiggle, even the thumb. Don't forget the thumb. Good. And just very gently, let's move on to the shoulders. Just connect with your breath as you do this movement. Sort of lifting your shoulders for about 5 circles going back. Keep breathing. You can close your eyes or do your eyes up. Keep the eyes open, doesn't really matter. Just change the direction of the motion of the shoulders. Quite a good way to sort of floss your spine. Just get one arm at a time. One shoulder at a time, we'll like. Good. Okay, let's engage, wake up our balance from nice and early. See if we can stand or just simply shift your weight on one foot nice and early. And what I'd like you to do, try to perform nice shoulder circles with one arm at a time. Standing on one leg is, of course, optional. If you can, even better. If not, just simply lift the heel off the floor, just keeping your toes down. 2 more, going back. And let's change the opposite, same arm, just the opposite direction. 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's change the side. So we'll change the standing leg also if you can. So nice, block your hips nice and early, soft knees. Let's go. It's okay to wobble a little bit if you feel like you don't have a complete stillness in the body, but that will come. One more, going back. And let's change the direction and go the, yeah. Really emphasize keeping the arm elbow straight as you do so. Yeah, good way to keep your shoulders healthy. Good. All right, shake your feet up, everybody. Just gonna tilt the screen down tiny bit. Have a sip of water before we're still getting warmed up. So just start to wake up the hips. I like to get this rotational movements nice and early. Let's keep your elbows up. If you're getting ready for outdoor sports, like tennis or golf, this is a good warm-up. Let's start to twist a little bit more. So as you go right behind, find the balance from the hips and reach up above your head. Reach. Reach. Keep going for another 20 seconds. Keep breathing. 10, 9, turn the foot as well as you twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly come to. Okay, just come. I'm going to come a little bit closer. Let's retest some of the neck strengthening exercises. So we're just going to make sure your hands, palms are nice and warm. If not, let's get a hand, just gentle pressure going into the head from the palm. Ready, steady for 5 seconds, push. 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's switch your sides to the opposite. So go the opposite direction. Keep everything nice and still. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and great. Now let's go forwards, gliding your chin forwards. Try bite your jaw muscles down when you're doing this and push. And release. Okay, 2 hands behind, right back of our neck, and we glide our head back. Ready, steady. We're quite strong going back, so just keep it steady. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. Okay, let's stretch out some of the postural muscle groups. So if we just lift our arms up, you can actually interlock your hands together if it's easier to. All we're going to do is just sort of gently drop towards one side, tilting, feeling the stretch coming from this lat. It's fine if we can't go all the way back. If you are pushing forwards, make sure you're keeping your hips nice and connected. Squeeze your glute muscles and then tilt towards the other way. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Keep your eyes on your hands if you can, on your fingers. Tilt back to the first side. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Nothing to hurry with. One more. Breathe out. Really good. Nice. Good. It's a good way to stretch the shoulders as well as the spine. Now we've been practicing this spinal rolls, so more like go get touching the floor, but just really just refresh our form, just rolling down slowly, almost gliding down slowly, slowly, one vertebra at a time. Just rolling down gently. Go as slow as you like. Relax your neck muscles when you go down. If you can reach the floor, that's fabulous. If you can't, that's not a problem. Just right. Remember, we're still warming up. Roll back up. Come up and exhale. Roll your shoulders 3 times to the top. Okay, now let's see if we can do this next. Look, and more we can either hold the leg for the balance. I like this one. It's a great way to open up your hamstring muscles, which are back of the legs. Either hold, or you can simply go opposite. So you might have seen rugby players or football players typically will do this type of warm-ups before they start the game. So we either stepping or holding and kicking. Both are fine. Great. Nice. You will need a bit of space with this one. 3 more. 1 more. Well done. Okay, let's change the legs. We might have to alternate the arms as well. And let's go. 1, 2. Emphasize, make sure the kicking leg is straight. So balancing on one leg. Boom. Step. Very, very good. Keep going. 4 more. High as we can go. And very good. Right. I think we should be a little warmed up compared when we started. So have a sip of water, everybody. Just a little refresher. Tea or water is fine. And we'll move on to the main sort of core of this section, which is sort of working on the large muscle groups while combining multiple joints together. So we call these compound movements. So we should have some weights on hand, dumbbells, cans of beans, or cans of any load weight is fine. If you don't have any weights, that's fine too. Just hold a couple of heavy books maybe. Okay, refresher of the motion. We've been practicing this loading back, taking almost like a sitting-like position known as sort of squats. You don't have to move really low. Sometimes knees doesn't like this movement, but by just driving your hips back without even going down, it's quite a good practice to load those knee muscles, especially muscle groups above the knee, your thighs and your hamstrings. So position your hands right up here. And what we do, just a quick demo, we're going to do this for 60 seconds, everybody. Load down, pop the hips, and a nice overhead press. Are we ready? Get set in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1 minute. Pop and extend. Just be mindful how low you feel comfortable. Don't worry if your knees are hurting going down. Just drop the hips a little bit and pop in the one motion. Let's go. Keep your eyes up and keep working. You can go all the way down. Hey, even better. Just go, stay what's comfortable right now for the knees. Keep working, keep breathing. We might get your heart rate up after this, so be prepared. When I say put the weights down, we're going to do some high knee raises, which I'll demonstrate how to do those. Again, I'll remind you, we have just double check the time, 5 seconds to go. Nearly there. 1 more, and carefully put the dumbbells down or the weights down. Okay, this is the high knees, guys. Look, 1, 2. Chop the arms, almost marching on the spot. And let's see if we can, if on your toes, either fast knees or jogging on the spot. Let's see what we've got. Oftentimes when people do this, you don't, because I know you're here this morning. Everything moves like this. So keep everything nice and straight. Hold your stomach muscles tight and just keep breathing. Nice. Up, up, get those knees up. Come on, Mike. Got this. Chop your arms. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. Bring it down, just 10, 15 seconds. Lower the heart rate down, get the breathing under control. Just walk around. You can shake your legs in between, shake your shoulders. It's important that we recover ready for the next part. Okay. So a quick demonstration, eyes on the screen for a minute, a second or so. We'll be working on the shoulder muscle group, so a little bit more control here. All I would like us to do, just stand on one leg by lifting the foot off the floor. And what we're going to do is go side, and then we go right in front. So two motions. So we call this lateral and sort of frontal face. So there. Keep your chest open while we do this. And I'll ask you to just change this balancing leg on the halfway. So if you're ready, get set, 30 seconds on each leg. Let's begin. Side, slowly down, motion of perhaps 1, 2 up, and then 3, 2, 1 down. Keep your elbows straight, please, as you do this. 3, 2, 1 down, 1, 2 up in front. Slow, slow. Keep the wrist. Remember the exercise that we were doing with the wrist movement? Keep the wrist as stable as possible. Front. Final one, going side, and then we're going to change your legs. Finish up with the front, and then switch the legs. We'll just carry on with the same movements with the arms. Keep going. Keep breathing. Quite a good way to connect with your breathing as well. Every time you introduce the balance aspect, just relax the breathing. We're doing great. 10 seconds, please. Oh, if you're still standing on one leg, good job. Nice. And relax. Keep the weights in your hand, please. Not yet, not yet. Remember, almost stand shoulder width apart. Drop the hips a little bit low. It's not a full squat, but we're going to punch just to get the heart rate up, working your upper body muscles. We have 60 seconds. Let's go. You can actually punch down, twist a little bit from the torso rather than hips. Let's go. Punch up, up, up. Arms sideways. Straight punches, directing. These are air punches. We're not punching anyone or anything, more like punching into the air. Extending the elbows softly. Keep the eyes up, looking at the punching direction, the direction you're punching into the air. Eyes follow through. You can actually punch to the side. 10 seconds to go. Good, good, good. Extending elbows. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. This is a good time for the recovery. 20, 30 seconds or so. Little breather. Nice. We're going to move on to we're going to stay with the upper body and practice this really functional, useful skill, ability to stabilize your weight on top of our shoulders. So again, the wrist control exercise that we did, it will come very handy because we'd probably have to put the weight onto the palms. So I'll just use the chair, or you can actually use your bench or even end of the sofa or chair. Doesn't really matter, but make sure it's slightly off the floor. And what we are going to practice is just take a quick look. If you can see this, actually, I'll probably show you this side because both ways are quite important. So, shifting your weight to one shoulder and just gently see if you can tap the opposite shoulder. Just transitioning the weight on one side. And more control you have, the slower you'll be able to do this. So just quick check with the posture. When you do this, really keep everything engaged, especially this, we call this kind of vulnerable part of the back, lower back. So avoid this or this. This nice chest over your wrist. When we're ready, we're going to do it almost like a timed version of this. So don't really worry about how many you can do. You can count, of course. We've got 60 seconds. Get into positions, everybody. 2, 1, start the time. Go into the position slowly. Keep maintaining your breathing. Let's go. Tap. Tap your shoulder. Yes. Momentarily shift your weight into the hips as well. And breathe. Really use the traction from your toes just to get a nice connection on the floor. And again, as I said, slower you can do this, almost in the slow motion, would actually mean that you would have a better control. You can, if it's really hard to tap your shoulder, just tap your elbow. Keep going. We have 20 seconds still to go. Nice and slow. If it's a little too easy, I can make this harder, of course, but stay with it for now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now everybody stay in this position. Look, just quick eyes on the screen. You're just marching in this diagonal position. So like knees come up in between your hands. Sometimes known as mountain climbers, yeah? Your shoulders and your wrists might be burning by now. But if it's a painful burn, you must stop. Shake your hands out and then come back into the position. Can we go a little bit faster maybe? It's optional. Otherwise, nice slow stepping through, knees through the chest. Keep breathing. Most important, when we exert the energy, we have to supply the oxygen. Keep the shoulders on top of your wrist. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly shift your hips back and then come back up. That was tough. A little harder than we might have done. Good. Just simple stretches for the wrists, so flexion, extension. Yeah. You see how important the wrist joint is? Yeah. We use it in a lot of movements, not just exercising, but during the everyday things too. So if you're getting up and down from the floor, you put the weight on to the wrist, just shake. Okay, now next one up, I don't think you will need my reminder because we said that was going to be our little competition. However, we're not going to do this towards at the end. We are going to do it right now. So if I just tilt my screen this way, so you can probably see the different angle. Apologies about this tools behind. And ideas that we need a door or a solid wall behind it. Selecting out at least, don't have your feet together, just at least hip width apart. And then easiest way that I find to get into this position is you go there and just gently glide and perhaps even adjust your feet if it needs to go out. So like a 90-degree angle between the hips. So remember, it's an individual exercise. You don't have to go right low. Even here is fine, but trying to not necessarily beat the last week's time, but see if you can beat the last week's range of motion. So perhaps get a little bit lower, even if it's 2 or 3 degrees lower. We haven't started yet. Are we all ready? Take a position, thumbs up. Let's go. Glide down, and we started the time already. I'll give you updates after about half a minute. Every 15 seconds, I'll just call out one reminder, don't push the weight onto your thighs with your hands. The important thing is you can actually press your belly button into the floor, connect your spine against the door or a wall, whatever you might be using behind. It's a good exercise to practice the sort of controlled strength. Okay, we are actually in 45 seconds in. At any moment, you can have a break here, remember? Tuck your chin in, glide your chin in, and then you can touch back of your head against the back of the wall. Looking good. 1 minute, 15 seconds, everybody. Doing well. Well done, Heather. Come on, Bremer. 130. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see some competitive nature here. Okay, looking good. Approaching 145. I think we're going to get to 2 minutes and then we'll all have a break. Good. Keep breathing the final few seconds. Important. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just very slowly glide back up, slowly, slowly, slowly. Your legs might feel a bit tired and sort of fatigued, and shake the legs out. It can even be 1 or 2 knee tacks. Just take the pressure from the back, although we'll stretch in a moment, but yeah. Nice. Well done. Yeah. You may have perhaps you noticed this week it was a bit easier. If you practice, especially during the week, might have felt some controls might have been easier. Well done. Shake the legs out. Yeah, we got time. We have time to do 1 or 2 abdominal exercises. So again, we may need something to sit onto, or just sort of put the weight onto the position. So it can be floor if you feel comfortable getting down to the floor, or you can simply be on a chair or edge of the step as well. Just quick demonstration. I just want you to, I'll probably show you this way actually. Reminder of the elevating knees, feet off the floor, just finding this like a letter V position or V holds. V for victory, by the way, not the other V, yeah. Like so. If you can go completely straight, knees extended and hands extended, even better. Just if you are using the chair, just one quick safety point. If you had to go find yourself a balance, make sure you got at least a support you can grab onto a wall. You can save yourself, you don't end up on the floor. So that's if you're doing this exercise on the chair. If you're on the floor, you'll probably be just rolling on your back. Okay, everybody, we're going to do this for time, practice. You can always go back into the position if you come out of it. Just very slowly, feet off the floor. Keep the knees soft. And just very gently keeping your eyes over your toes. I like to sort of focus quite a lot to right on the horizon, and then slowly extending the knees out. Hands can, of course, be on the support or completely like above your knees position. Keep breathing. See if we can practice this for another 30 seconds, so half a minute. You always come down and then go back up into the position. Not to worry. You can add a little twist if you want it. Look, almost picking up a, I don't know, glass of water or jug of water and then putting from one side to another, adding this rotational phase. Keep working for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Yeah. You can simply stretch out the lower back gently, just rolling down, either from a sitting position or even from the chair. Okay. Stand on the floor for now. That's one more time, and we're going to practice some balance and posture. So think about whenever we do any sort of balance exercise, posture is always working or should be working. I'm just going to point the arms down. So it might be better if I put this here. Sorry about that. Yeah. Just to give more of a visual clues, that's all. You can pass. So if you stand with a foot behind an object, or you don't have to have these comments absolutely, but just give you this visual sort of cue. See if you can actually stand past this right through the back. So almost looks like an ice skater. So right here in this position, there, and you swing the arm, leg through. It's okay to hold the hands on the chair if you need to. Then come back up. So just taking the weight. Let's just practice at least 5 attempts on one leg. See, we can go right around. You may notice that your hip actually wants to drop, so almost think about like absorbing the weight through. Right, everybody take a position, shake your legs out, let's go. If you haven't started, you can use a stick for sure, it's fine. Let's go. If the foot doesn't want to go all the way around, that's fine. Just really emphasizing the knee going around, so almost stepping over. Object. Do this really slowly. There's no need to speed this up. Again, look, I'm holding, and I'm really pointing my foot back. Yeah, hands are off even. Good. Right round. Good. Okay. Does everybody has a support next to them? Here's what we're going to try. I'm just going to make sure you see the foot. Just a little advanced or progressive of this. Look at my standing leg. I lift up on my toes, on my heels come up, and then practice this. Look. So you're up on your toes there. Much harder. Yeah. Your calf muscles might be. One more. And good job. Shake the legs up. Just get it. It's known as lactate, as acid, which is the sort of waste product when muscle is working. Sort of left over from burnt energy. So, changing the legs, just a quick reminder, is this swinging motion of the. So, if you think about it, I'm not actually bending my knee too much at all, just sort of absorbing the pressure as the hip, the foot goes round. I personally like to do these movements in the morning, nice and early, just weights the balance up. Of course, you can do this any time of the day, not limited to the mornings, but I'm just telling you what I like, when I like doing it. Okay, again, finishing off with the heels off the floor on that standing leg. Now remember, the proprioception needs to be more switched on. Foot actually has to work more, and even your calf muscles having to stabilize these. So heels are off. Round again, almost stepping over, I don't know, bicycle or horse. Bringing the knee up. Two more. Good. Nice. Well done, everybody. Shake it up. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Nice. Let's see if I can get you to do a little time for the drink if you need to. Okay. If I may ask, are we all comfortable to go down onto the floor? If not, I will give you alternative. So you can use you may need an exercise mat for this, nice and soft. So either like a gardener's pad would work, or if you have even something thinner would work really well. So this is not going to be full on planks, just to let you know. We're just going to put if you wanted to practice full on planks, yeah, feel free, feel comfortable to do this. But we are going to do this as a time, but I'm just going to give you a few coaching points. Again, you don't have to do this exercise on the floor. You can simply use a slightly elevated position, which makes it slightly modified. So like a chair, you can do this on your elbow. So just re-emphasizing the sort of coaching points. Weight goes onto the elbows. And perhaps don't just think about the elbows, think about the whole wrist actually pushing down onto the floor. That's when you can get a really good grip. So I'll show you on the floor first. So you're just going to go down so lie on the floor onto the front, probably be the easiest way. It's important that you see my toes, what they're doing as well. And all I want you to do is just practice this hollow back. So right here, we're sort of I'm almost arching my back, but just practice this. Look, pushing the weight onto the elbows and the wrists, and just almost cat-like position. Really lifting up my abdominals into my chest, into the abdomen, and holding it there. Again, I'll invite you to do this on the chair if it's a little challenge getting down onto the floor. Okay, guys, it's not in numbers, just practice. We're going to practice for about a minute, and then just getting you comfortable with this. Are we ready? Get set, inhale, and then exhale at the top as you go up, and just breathe. Just control your breathing, doesn't matter when you breathe in or out, as long as you're not holding your breath. Just keep your eyes on the floor, chin is tucked in. Again, if this is too easy, you can always push your toes down and lifting knees off the floor. I'll invite you to do that for sure. And even if it's that easy, lift one foot off the floor and do it on one leg. So again, otherwise just carry on being on your knees. This is the foundation. Oftentimes, if we can't do this base, so I wouldn't say these are basic, but this is how we build the fundamentals of the strength and the lower back and then the abdominals as well. Feel free to come down and have a little break for the shoulders. Keep breathing. Super. See if you can stay there for 10 more seconds. If you feel any pain, like a bad pain in your lower back, please stop. 3, 2, 1, and relax down all the way. Shoulders lying on your front. Just make sure, if anything, look, put your head into your hands, so to top of the wrist, like so. And I want to show you a really nice stretch. It's called a scorpion stretch. So look, just keep your face on your side like this, and then see if you can actually twist the leg over. As much as you can, just twist it around. It doesn't have to come all the way around. If anything, if you've got a good flexibility in your shoulders, in your hips, you might be able to do this while keeping the shoulder on the floor. Just otherwise, just simply lifting the one leg up and then like a scorpion sting. Right over. We are actually stretching your hip flexor muscles. Good way to stretch your chest sometime. And let's alternate switch to the other side, please. Again, rest your face on the floor, and then leg goes up, big, 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 big. Keep the one arm extended, so whichever one arm you're pushing out on that shoulder, it's on the floor, just nice and straight. You feel a good stretch in your pec muscles, pectorals, or the chest muscles, by the way. Keep breathing. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, and come back down. And let's see if we can just finish up with this active stretch for the calves. Calves are one of those resilient muscles that we use so much that they're so tough and resilient. They're pretty strong muscles. So if you get your weight into this position and just push your heels down like this. You can hold it for a little bit longer. Look, alternate pushing the weight into the heel. And try go for the direction of the floor. And this leg that we're stretching is straight, yeah? I'll give you time to practice this, about 10. So 5 on each leg, holding up to 5 to 10 seconds. There is different ways of doing this stretch, by the way. You can do this sitting down, but stay with me if you're with this. I'll show you in a minute. Okay. Now from there, you can either walk back into the hands or just knees down, shifting the weight back into the hip, and then roll back up into a standing position. Whichever way you like. Let's go up in the standing position, everybody. And there you go. Right. Right. Just loosen up, loosen up. Yeah. Just wait for everybody to come into the position. Just gently roll the shoulders. My aim is to really take you through a journey the next 5-6 weeks that we have together, at least so that you can see a steady progression throughout each exercises, where they might be minimal, like steadier balance on one leg, or better connection of the postural muscles or neck, or less pain in your shoulders or hips perhaps. So just stay with me. I might give you 1 or 2 sort of homeworks during the week just to experiment on your own as well. So here's the one exercise I'd like you to practice during the week until we meet again. And if we're on one-on-one calls, I'll check in with you, of course, during the week. But here's how it looks. You can practice this against the wall or against a chair, something that you can hold onto the balance. And this is how it looks. Look, go up on one leg, like so. And I want you to think about your eye traction. So turning, look, across, you're starting to turn around out of the knee, this way. So this way, this way, this way. And see if you can look down to your heel. Yeah, like so. Coming back. And then as you improve, get better, then you can actually do it without holding. So look, turn first, and then look down. If you can see back of your heel, doing it this way, I'll show you the other way, so make sure we don't miss the other side. So look, whichever knee comes up first, you're going towards that knee, so going across. So look, here, you're twisting into the knee. Elbows are up in this direction, and make sure shoulders stay open. So what we don't want to do is compromise or position by posture by just rounding and just sort of tilting this way. So think about it's more of a turning of the twisting of. It's not a tilt. It's a turn and then look down, back of the heel. Yeah. But that's for you to practice during the week. So if you now just come close, bring your water, come closer to the screen.